The US-China trade war has erupted once again, casting a long shadow over the global economy. After a brief period of relative calm, tensions soared in recent weeks as the Trump administration levied a new round of tariffs on Chinese goods. The tariffs, which now affect a staggering $300 billion worth of Chinese imports, have been met with swift retaliation from Beijing. The world watches with bated breath as the two economic giants lock horns in a battle with no clear winner. The latest escalation began in early April 2025, when the Trump administration announced a dramatic increase in tariffs on Chinese goods. Existing tariffs on $250 billion worth of imports were raised from 10% to 25%, catching many businesses off guard. Furthermore, tariffs of 25% were slapped on an additional $300 billion of Chinese goods, effectively covering almost all Chinese imports to the United States. These aggressive moves sent shockwaves through global markets and ignited fears of a full-blown trade war. China wasted no time in responding to the American escalation. Beijing announced retaliatory tariffs on $60 billion worth of American goods, ranging from agricultural products to industrial machinery. While the value of Chinese tariffs remains lower than those imposed by the United States, the message was clear: China would not back down without a fight. The rapid-fire exchange of tariffs has heightened uncertainty in the global trading system and left businesses scrambling to adjust. This latest chapter in the US-China trade war marks a significant escalation in the conflict. The tariffs imposed by both sides are the highest since the trade war began in 2018, and the rhetoric from both Washington and Beijing has become increasingly heated. As the world's two largest economies dig in their heels, the prospect of a negotiated settlement seems increasingly distant. The trade war's impact extends far beyond the borders of the United States and China, threatening to disrupt global supply chains and drag down economic growth worldwide. China's resolute stance in the face of American pressure stems from a complex interplay of factors, including historical grievances, economic calculations, and a deep-seated belief in its own rising power. Understanding these motivations is crucial to grasping why China appears unwilling to bend to U.S. demands, even as the trade war inflicts pain on its own economy. First and foremost, China views the trade war through the lens of its century of humiliation, a period of weakness and exploitation by foreign powers that lasted from the mid-19th to the mid-20th century. The memory of this era, when China was forced to accept unequal treaties and cede territory to Western powers and Japan, continues to shape its worldview. From Beijing's perspective, the United States is attempting to contain China's rise and prevent it from reclaiming its rightful place on the world stage. Economically, China recognizes that the trade war carries significant risks, but believes it can weather the storm better than the United States. China's economy has undergone a remarkable transformation over the past 4 decades, shifting from an agrarian society to a global manufacturing powerhouse. This transformation has been fueled by a potent combination of cheap labor, government subsidies, and a relentless focus on export-led growth. While the trade war has undoubtedly hurt China's economy, Beijing believes it can mitigate the damage through a combination of fiscal stimulus, currency devaluation, and increased trade with other partners. Moreover, China is acutely aware of the political realities in the United States. The Chinese leadership understands that President Trump faces re-election in 2026 and is under pressure to deliver on his campaign promises, including reducing the trade deficit with China and bringing back manufacturing jobs. Beijing calculates that Trump may be willing to accept a less favorable deal in the run-up to the election to claim a victory, even if it means making concessions on issues like intellectual property theft. Finally, China's unwavering stance is bolstered by a deep-seated belief in its own destiny. After decades of rapid economic growth and rising global influence, China sees itself as a peer competitor to the United States, not a junior partner. Beijing is determined to chart its own course and resist any attempts by Washington to dictate its economic policies or geopolitical ambitions. Both the United States and China have demonstrated remarkable strategic endurance. They have adapted to the evolving landscape of global trade with a mix of resilience and innovation. Each side is constantly recalibrating its strategies to gain an upper hand, often leveraging technology and alliances to bolster their positions. This ongoing adaptation is a testament to their commitment to maintaining economic dominance. The rivalry between Washington and Beijing is more than just a trade dispute. It's a battle for global influence. The United States aims to protect its economic interests and uphold its leadership in international affairs. Meanwhile, China is determined to assert its own vision of global order, challenging the status quo. This clash of titans has far-reaching implications affecting not just the two nations involved, but the entire world. As the trade tensions continue to escalate, there seems to be no end in sight. Both nations are deeply entrenched in their positions, with neither willing to make significant concessions. The global community watches closely, aware that the outcome of this prolonged conflict could reshape the future of international trade. The stakes are high, and the resolution remains uncertain. If you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe to The Silent Observer for more daily updates.